This is an interview with Will Taylor. He has long hair. He is an artist in many different facets. I hope you're open to this interview.
Absolutely.
Dope. All right, let's get straight into it. So first of all, and first and foremost, what is your favorite artistic piece that you've ever created?
My favorite piece it's definitely this one watercolor painting that it did. And basically, it's sort of a recreation of a scene from the book Go Dog Go.
Whoa.
Just a classic.
A classic.
One of my childhood favorites.
Yeah, one for the history books, really.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a page in it, and there's 3 dogs on a boat at night. And, yeah.
Will he used Go Dogs Go as his template for his art.
I basically just like played around a lot with the watercolors, kind of making sort of like tie-dye-ish colors in the water and the sky.
Crazy. I mean, you know, I pictured him as more of like a painting mountains, sort of geological, topographical art. The traditional sense of the tie-dye, where it's more like a rainbow color, or were they like nighttime colors?
No. More just, I mean, that is in basically kind of, I don't know, like intermixing kind of colors, but I mean, so like the water is like basically shades of purple and blue.
Wow.
Like all different shades kind of mixed in.
The fact that he used a children's book, one of his favorite children's books, and then recreated a scene from that, I thought was really beautiful because it showed that he has versatility in his art.
Kind of like flowing with each other. And then what I really liked about it was the dogs in the boat, actually. I think I did a good job with those. And yeah, I just love it. Like one of the dogs is playing the banjo.
Awesome.
The other 2 are playing checkers, and you got the full moon out there, and
beautiful.
It's a cool scene.
So tell me, Will, what is your creative process when you paint?
Well, it's definitely spontaneous.
Him talking about spontaneity is not spontaneity. It is having so much comfort with the skills that you've already practiced that you can let your mind go into a flow state and not have to focus on practicing the individual tricks.
And so, yeah, basically get an idea, just kind of start and see where it goes.
When did you first fall in love with board sports?
Well, definitely from a very, very early age. And I mean, I can't even remember like a specific moment of like my first time stepping onto a skateboard or getting strapped into a snowboard.
For sure.
Yeah, as long as I can remember, I just, go out in the driveway, mess around with them on skateboards and, whatever, pull each other on bikes.
Dope.
And
sort of in the sense of like the artistic nature of board sports, do you plan your lines out like you plan out paintings, or do you sort of just go into it with a little bit of spontaneity in mind?
I definitely, most of the time, just jump into it and, get really spontaneous with it.
It sounded like that translated from art, where you have to practice these specific techniques, and then after a while you just sort of flow and you create your piece.
But yeah, I think it's also really fun to, if you have certain things you want to work on, to try to intentionally plan things out. I'm a really visual learner too. And so, it might help me to like take 30 seconds or a minute before like I try something and think about like, okay, what's it going to look like to do this? What's it going to feel like? Just like what can I expect, and like what do I have to do to make it happen?
I'm thinking about a variety of different things that could translate to. Public speaking, for example, or theater, or screen acting.
So I think it's good to plan things out, sometimes. And then once you do get more comfortable with those tricks, they kind of just find themselves in, the more spontaneous, like flowy states. So yeah, I think like building up technique with a lot of intention is really cool to then translate into more just kind of free writing.
To sort of combine the two things that we've talked about, do you feel that your creativity with the board sports that you do translates to your painting, or vice versa?
Yeah, I'd say it does a lot. And so I think I had sort of a creative mindset in some ways that got developed from those board sports early on. And then once I started painting, I kind of like did the same things, and would sometimes be intentional about technique or whatever, like really planning things out, and then but most of the time just kind of having fun and seeing what happens.
Dope. That's what it's all about. Sweet. Well, thank you so much for the interview, dude. I appreciate it.
Put it
Awesome. Okay.